get? How much you got? How much you bring with you? Huh? Have a look about town. See if you can determine what has happened to Deal. I'm supposed to have been here hours ago. Ah, Mr. Hatsworth, good afternoon.
Mr. Smart, my invitation.
No. Keep it. As a memento of your journey to Nogales.
Well, the only memento I want is a well-bred, full-bodied woman to take back to my Caribbean island as my bride.
Well, there are many gems here to bid upon. I'm sure you will find one to your liking.
Well, that school teacher you described to me, that's the one I want.
She is a rare jewel. It is my considered opinion that over half the men present will bid on her. Perhaps you had best not overlook the other flowers of paradise in case the bidding exceeds your financial resources.
Well, money's no object, Phineas. I want the school teacher, and I intend to have the school teacher.
Asa, darling, the groom's not supposed to see the bride until the ceremony begins.
Well, I don't think that old wives' tale applies when the groom plans to drive the bride to the justice of the peace.
Well, maybe we should have met there.
For what reason? I had my driver take me to Buchanan Building parking lot. There was a rental waiting for me. I jumped in, came to the hotel. I came out through the employee's entrance.
Oh, honey, do you think all that was really necessary?
Yes, I don't want anybody to figure out our plans, especially that nosy boy of mine.
Well, I think Bo's convinced, like everyone else, that we're getting married in May.
He hasn't been watching you like a hawk all week.
Well, no, but you love all this cloak and dagger stuff, don't you?
Now, don't you worry. Everything's going off without a hitch. Our wedding day is going to be a perfect day.
Almost perfect. It just breaks my heart that Lee's not going to be here to be my matron of honor. Oh, how selfish of me, Asa. I know how it must hurt that Clint's not going to be here to be your best man.
Well, everyone tells me the good Lord had other plans for Clint. I guess that applies to Lee, too. Why don't we accept that, Renee?
I can't. Not until Mary Lynn is cleared of murder charges and Donald Lamar is brought to justice.
He will, honey.
With the judge and the DA in his pocket? Oh, Donald Lamar's living on Easy Street without a worry in the world.
Order in this court. Is defense prepared to substantiate their claim that Griffin Clark has been killed?
The police have identified the body. An autopsy is being conducted, but there's little doubt as to the cause of death. Several bullet wounds to the chest. Kind of a strange coincidence, isn't it? That an informant about to give Tom Dennison information about Donald Lamar's mob activities suddenly meets a violent death. And the next thing you know, his ex-chauffeur, also about to testify against Mr. Lamar, meets a violent death.
You are out of order, sir. The jury will disregard
Maybe the two deaths are not coincidental.
And the stenographer will delete that last remark. Marilyn Dennison is on trial here, sir, not Donald Lamar. Call your next witness.
The defense calls Marilyn Dennison.
Marilyn Dennison.
John, are you sure this is a good idea?
Don't worry.
It's not you I'm worried about, it's Mary Lynn. Now look at her, she is hanging on by a thread as it is. One false move and she could blow the whole case.
Here's what to do when you don't find the rainbows in this time. Here's where you go when it looks like the rain won't end. Don't cry.
They were just born when the sexual revolution began. Now they've grown up.
Ready to go break some hearts?
But the rules have changed.
When I blow the whistle, find your partner, fall in love, and have babies. Yes, it's that easy.
Leah Thompson and Victoria Jackson are about to discover a new four-letter word for sex in the 80s.
Help.
Casual sex. Rated R. Now playing at theaters everywhere. Chicken and herb sauce. Want to know how to make it? Just take your chicken and add custom cuisine. Crisp bird's eye vegetables smothered in delectable sauces. It adds up to a terrific meal. Bird's eye custom cuisine.
Cool days always remind me of my mother's cinnamon bread. Maybe that's why I like the creamy cinnamon taste of Cafe Vienna so much. Or maybe I like it just because I like it. General Foods International Coffees.
Hi, Bright Eyes. You got a smile for Daddy? Oh, we got something new for you today. See? Apple.
Gerber presents First Foods, fruits and vegetables. 100% natural baby foods, so smooth they're for beginners only. And only from Gerber. The single-serving jar is the start of a perfectly planned feeding system. To begin with, to grow with, to stay with for the first 2 years. Any questions? Call Gerber.
When I was a kid, I loved to wear bandages just to get attention. But now, I wear Band-Aid brand clear, so people notice me, not my bandage.
Only Johnson & Johnson makes Band-Aid brand clear. Clearly the best-looking bandage ever.
Hi, Dad.
I heard.
Yeah, 2 cavities.
It's time for ACT.
ACT fluoride rinse can cut cavities 40% more than brushing alone, because ACT gets to surfaces a brush can miss. ACT now to reduce cavities 40%.
I do.
You may be seated.
Mary Lynn, would you tell the court how you happened to be in your mother's suite the night she was killed?
Wade and I were at my house together, alone. And my father walked in, as you've already heard. He got very angry. He and Wade argued, and then I joined in. It was horrible. We were all shouting at each other. I couldn't handle it. I had to go see my mother. I had to talk to her. I knew that she would understand.
Did she always take your side?
No, not always, but she was willing to listen.
So you went to see your mother for comfort?
She knew how to make everything okay.
She'd always done that for you since you were a little girl?
Ever since I found out she was my mother.
And when was that?
Last year.
So you grew up without knowing that Lee was your mother?
Yes. My father took me when I was 2 years old.
He won custody of you?
No, he took me.
Mary Lynn, you must have wondered where your mother was.
He told me she was killed in a car crash.
Mary Lynn, would you say that you had a happy childhood?
Yes, but I was always sad that I didn't have a mother. I used to dream about what it would be like if she was still alive. And sometimes I'd even pretend that she was.
Did your father talk about her?
No, I thought it was because he was too sad, so I stopped asking him about her. And till about a year ago, when I figured out that he wasn't honest with me.
So, while you were asking your father questions, Lee moved to Landview in search of her daughter.
Yeah.
The end of a 17-year ordeal for Lee and the fulfillment of all your dreams.
Yes. And it was better than I ever dreamed it could be. We had a special feeling for each other even before I knew she was my mother. And then when I found out the truth, it was incredible.
Why do you think your father didn't tell you the truth?
He said he was protecting me. You see, he thought she had turned to prostitution after I was born. But she was a prostitute, but that was before she was married to my father. And she was forced into that life by a man who threatened to kill her. It was not her fault.
And you forgave her?
Yes. And so did my father. And finally, after 17 years, they became friends again. It was like a miracle.
I bet Lee was a very loving mother, wasn't she?
Yes. Yes, she was. And I had to remind her sometimes that I wasn't a little girl anymore. I knew she would love me. And she would always stand by me. She would protect me no matter what. And it was a wonderful feeling. And I even had a new dream. I was going to give her a grandchild. And I hoped that it would make up for all the years that we lost when I was growing up. God, I loved her so much.
I know you loved her so much that you would kill Donald Lamar in order to protect your mother.
Yes, yes.
That's who you were aiming at. It wasn't your mother, it was Donald Lamar.
Yes. She was trying to get away from him. And he said that he was going to kill both of us. And he saw that I had the gun. And that's when he turned her body in front of his to protect him. And then I fired the gun. And then I called out to her. And I ran to her. And she said that she loved me. She forgave me. And she was gone.
If John does not find a way to prove Mary Lynn's innocence, I will go after Donald Lamar myself.
You are incorrigible, Mr. Buchanan.
Now, could you please stop fretting about Donald Lamar long enough to become Mrs. Asa Buchanan?
Asa, you know, if you wanted to wait until May, I'd certainly understand.
Renee, I'm the one that wanted to elope. I love you. I want to marry you today.
Honey, I really have to tell you, I feel funny about this. I mean, you've always shared everything with your family.
If you waited till May, we might as well get married at the Calgary Stampede, because that's what it's going to be like. Besides, just to see the shock on Beau's face when we come home as man and wife, that's reason enough to elope.
Well, I'm hoping that when we get back, you and Beau will be able to mend some of the broken fences between you.
That's up to him. If he accepts you as part of the family, I'll think about forgiving him for some of the nasty things he said about you. But if he doesn't, he is not welcome in our home. That is it. Now, can we go?
Yes.
What, you got some hidden airline ticket in there in case we have a fight in our honeymoon?
Oh, you silly old bear. I love you too much to fight with you. No, I bought you a wedding band, but you're not going to see it before the ceremony.
And I'm not going to see your ring before the ceremony. I left your ring at the house. How could I forget something that important?
Wait a minute. I got an idea.
Where'd you get this?
Well, once when I was feeling blue, Lee insisted we go shopping, and we saw this ring, and dear friend, she bought it for me.
Well, that's good enough for now. No more blues. From now on, our future holds nothing but love and happiness.
Oh, Asa.
How long have you been here? About an hour and a half. Ready for it, Gentlemen, if I may have your attention, please. You are about to witness the most astounding array of grace and beauty that I have ever had the pleasure to offer. Please, gentlemen, this is a solemn occasion. You are choosing a life partner. Someone to organize your household and to keep your stomach filled with hearty nourishment and your nights filled with unimagined pleasure. Such a luxury does not come cheap, but as a man you know to be of sterling character and expecting excellent taste, I can assure you, you will not be disappointed.
Bring on the beauty!
We shall indeed. May I present for your consideration the quiet desert flower I call Santa Fe Rose.
Come on,
Good friend, you see before you a fragile creature whose shyness betrays an inner passion that will bewitch and bewilder. I draw your attention to the hourglass figure and suggest we open the bidding at $200.
200.
You don't want to buy me. I'm a widow with 2 little kids to take care of. They'll be put in an orphan home if I can't go back to them. Have mercy on me, please.
210. Oh, wait, now, she's used merchandise, Mr. Smart.
On the contrary, my dear friend, she has been a widow for years, and therefore almost as chaste as your spinster aunt. But within that body rages the longing passion for pleasures she once knew, and the experience to satisfy your most ardent desire.
$220.
230.
235.
Do I hear 250?
She's mine.
Congratulations. The treasurer of my organization will collect your money at the door.
No, wait just a minute now. What happened to my woman? I don't want no secret runt.
I'm sorry, my friend. She is simply overcome with excitement. Pay your money at the door and have a safe journey. I myself shall gather my remaining beauties and journey eastwards.
You said we'd have dozens to choose from.
I'm sorry, gentlemen, but the auction is over.
Oh, now, wait a minute. Now, hey,
Gentlemen, please. The first rule of sound business is to offer your wares in a market that will bring the highest price. Now, I did honestly believe that I was showing my finest wares to men of means, but I believe now I have been deceived by a group of penny pinchers. I shall not even recoup my expense.
Oh, wait a minute. Now, you can't just go and leave us high and dry.
I came all the way from Kentucky to buy a wife.
Yeah. I'm not leaving this room until I get that bride I came here for.
That's right.
You bring those women out, we're going to string you up and take our brides for free.
That's right.
There is no reason for threats, Mr. Hatchworth. I am merely pointing out the necessity for higher bidding.
Well, you bring us a prize stock, we'll pay top dollar.
Very well, gentlemen. Nowhere in the world shall you have the opportunity to gain such a prize as you shall now see before you. An honest-to-goodness, one-of-a-kind, untouched delight direct from San Francisco, a maiden of true and perfect virtue.
Yeah, all right.
What is it? Are those women making for your wagon?
Certainly not. That ruckus is being made by my next beauty. Although she has the soul of a saint, she has the temper of a tigress.
Yeah, we don't want no troublemakers.
But once you tame her, she will be as gentle as a lamb. Is there a man among you rich enough and fearless enough to brand her as your own?
You're just talking through your hat, Mr. Smart. You know there's no such thing as beauty with virtue.
Only old maids and men pass by without even looking at it.
You are in for a great surprise and a rare treat.
Well, now, you know you can't bamboozle us, Mr. Smart.
Nor would I even attempt it, Mr. Johnson. All you need do is look into the maiden's eyes and know I speak the truth.
Well, I should bring her out.
That's right.
Let's have ourselves a look.
Where is she?
How dare you offer dollars in return for a human being? How dare you desecrate the memories of all the soldiers who shed their blood and gave their lives to abolish slavery? Surely your mothers taught you goodness and charity to all. Have you forsaken all sense of decency and honor in pursuit of your lust? Your mothers would cry for shame.
Yeah, well, my mother has passed on to her greater reward, but I can see that my reward is right here on earth.
Your mother would roll in her grave if she knew the evil man you had turned out to be.
Now, enough preaching, huh? Let's just start the bidding.
Yeah. You bid at your own risk. For I warn you all, no man in this room shall ever have my body or my soul. Heed my warning!
Oh, hi. It's Vicky. Vicky arrived yet?
No, not until tonight. I thought you were going to stick close to the courthouse.
Well, it is too much for me. I can just feel my blood pressure rise every time I think about her prosecuting that poor, innocent child. And that rotten judge, she's no better. She's got Mary Lynn guilty before the trial even begins. I used to think there was some kind of justice. Now I'm not sure. Anyway, enough about the trial. I have brought some heavenly hash burgers over for Vicky and the kids. As soon as she comes home, all she has to do is pop them in the microwave for a couple of minutes. Shh. Shall I tape the instructions on the box?
No, I know. 2 minutes microwave, right?
I could have sworn you did not hear one word that I said.
Wanda, have you seen Asa today?
Asa should be at the courthouse with Renee.
No, he's not there. Renee's not there either.
Well, what about the office?
Wanda, he hasn't been to the office in weeks.
What is going on?
Okay, this is between us. I think Asa is about to elope with the ex-queen of the Madams from Nevada. When your mother moved into the house with you and your father, did they get along?
Well, things were tense at first. They became friends. She loved Dad, and he loved her. It's just that their anger and their bitterness got in the way of that love.
But after they resolved their problems, they realized that they loved each other.
Yes.
You know, Donald Lamar testified that he and your mother had a deep, passionate love for each other.
Well, he's lying.
Look, I asked you to look into that death threat I received. Did you come up with anything?
Yeah, Donnie. I came up with something. A little death threat of my own.
Where did you get this?
Same way you got yours, special delivery. Real funny, isn't it? They got me pegged as a dead kangaroo.
These are the same people who threatened me.
Yeah, well, they're not just sending us pretty pictures. I found out they'd taken out a contract on both our lives.
And then when you came to, you were dazed.
Yes.
So you could have been mistaken about your mother struggling with Donald.
No. No, she was fighting him like a tiger. He wanted her dead. I don't know if it was because he was trying to rape her or if she knew some secret about him, but he was going to kill her and me.
Thank you, Mary Lynn. No further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Callison, you may cross-examine.
No questions, Your Honor.
No questions?
No questions.
I demand an explanation for this extraordinary tactic. Please approach the bench.
Hello, mate.
You're dead. The police identified your body.
So I've heard.
Those shoes they're in evidence. They're in the next room. Who are you? What kind of insane joke is this?
It's not a joke. It's a warning. Be careful, or you'll suffer the same fate.
Sheriff, grab that man over there. Don't let him get away.
What man?
The man I was just talking to him.
I didn't see anyone.
He had a gray suit on. He had snakeskin shoes.
Look, why don't you have a seat and I'll get you some water?
Look, I've got to get out of here.
Well, you know the rules, Mr. Lamar. They have the right to ask you back to the stand. You can't leave the courthouse till they say you can.
Time to relax. Definitely time for some Wrigley's Spearmint gum.
Wrigley's Spearmint?
What?
What is Wrigley's Spearmint?
Well, It's pure chewing satisfaction.
Pure chewing satisfaction? Need more data, please.
Whoa!
Wrigley Spearmint is cool. And refreshing.
This I gotta see.
Wrigley Spearmint has a mouth-pleasing feeling.
Can't argue with that. Now, what happens if I cross-reference satisfying?
Chewing enjoyment goes on and on.
That computes. So what's your analysis?
Wrigley Spearmint is pure chewing satisfaction.
Yeah. So how come you never talked to me before?
Wrigley Spearmint is pure chewing satisfaction.
I used to strike out as a cook.
And coach.
Hey, lighten up. Then I discovered Heinz 57 sauce. It's great on steak, but for burgers, I mix 3 tablespoons 57 sauce to a pound of ground beef, grill, and you got tangy, delicious hamburgers. Can't get that taste from any other sauce.
Great burger!
First hit all day. Heinz 57 sauce, more than a steak sauce, a heck of a lot more.
At Play School, we know kids love our dinosaurs because they've made them the most popular ones in history.
We've got Play School dinosaurs. They're big and strong and tough. Spines and teeth and tails. Jaws and horns and sails. We can play with them real rough.
And now we've made 7 more, just as big and realistic, with parts that move and cavesters, too. Play School's definitely dinosaurs.
Play School dinosaurs. They're big and strong and tough. We can play with them real rough.
Ah, scared you, didn't I?
How could she ignore it?
It's time we stop lying to each other.
Why would she deny it?
Nothing's going on between us, Nico.
Nothing?
How much longer could she resist it?
Come on. It's me you love, Julie.
All my children.
Hello?
Do you want the latest A Couple of Clues? Dial 1-900-850-8000 and get
good news.
Friday through Sunday, there's nothing to lose. Call 1-900-850-8000 for sneak previews.
How could I possibly say no?
Defense elicited testimony that was very damaging to your case. You refrained from objecting. You now refuse to cross-examine. The only possible explanation I can think of is that you are deliberately trying to throw this case.
You know me better than that, Claire.
I'm not sure I do. Your handling of this case has been almost bizarre.
Some of your rulings have been quite bizarre.
I suggest you call Miss Dennison.
Well, I will decide whom to cross-examine and when. It is not in your province to tell me how to conduct my case.
And if I deem your prosecution injurious to the state, I have the right to recommend your removal.
With all due respect, you should think very carefully before you exercise that right.
Are you threatening me?
I'm telling you that I can play this game as well as you. Now, it's possible that your rulings can survive judicial review, but I doubt they can survive a review in the press, especially since the public is behind Mary Lynn Dennison. The ball is in your court.
This court is recessed for 15 minutes.
All right.
Oh, dear heavens. The smoke in this room is intolerable to my lungs.
Now, come on, your lungs will be just fine to me, miss.
Stay where you are, dream maiden. We have business to conduct, and your presence is required.
Your business is illegal and immoral, Mr. Smart!
But profitable, which, of course, is the point of these proceedings.
And what shall it profit a man if he gain the whole world and lose his immortal soul? Mark chapter 8, verse 36.
There is much time to concern myself with my soul, but at the moment I am concerned with my pocketbook.
The good book also says better to obey than sacrifice. Now you obey me, and I'll teach you all the pleasures of this world.
I admire your spirit, sir, and if you can translate that spirit into American dollars, I shall admire it even more.
Keep these buffaloes away from the maid, Mr. Smart. I intend to claim her for myself. I got my life savings right here.
Well, Zeke, as I recall, I sold you a bride not but 2 years ago. You realize the law does not allow a man 2 wives.
Yes, well, she gave out on me about a year ago, and I had to sell her to the captain of a bar. The hell of it was, she was pretty played out by the time I got to her anyway. But this lady looks to me somewhat virtuous, like she might last 6 or 7 years or more. What's your price, Mr. Smart?
Well, as she goes to the highest bidder, you will have to take your chances with the other gentleman.
$1,400. That ought to be enough.
May I suggest we open the bidding at $500?
Critics and audiences everywhere are cheering the Milagro Beanfield War. Entertainment Tonight says you're going to love it.
It's just what a movie should be. It's magical.
You leave the theater feeling great.
Joel Siegel raves an incredible cast, beautifully directed by Robert Redford.
Robert Redford is brilliant.
It's a great movie.
It made me laugh.
The Toronto Sun says Robert Redford really does make a miracle, the Milagro Beanfield War.
Fantastic.
Thank you, Robert Redford.
Rated R.
Now playing in select areas.
Brushing with a tartar control toothpaste is good, but it's not good enough. Because the #1 dental problem isn't tartar, it's plaque. That's why there's Plaques, the incredible pre-brushing rinse that removes 300% more plaque than brushing alone.
In Denmark, where they have delicious food, they also have a delicious way to eat less when they diet. Fiber Trim Sparkling Fruit Tabs, a fruity drink with fiber that helps to fill them up. Delicious sparkling fruit tabs from Fiber Trim.
One life to live will continue in a moment.
Last week's Person of the Week is leading the fight to make it harder for criminals to get cheap guns. Who will it be this week? Tonight, watch ABC's World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
Arthur George, you're on the air.
You're killing me with these people you're having on here. I can't leave the house no more.
Stay home with Art Russ Jr. Weeknights at 6 on WABC Talk Radio 77 AM.
In the old days, cataract stopped people from enjoying life. My mother thought cataract removal was a complicated procedure. After calling cataract eye surgeons, we changed all that.
I can't believe how well I can see.
Cataract eye surgeons, in many cases, can remove your cataracts at no cost to you. Of course, normal co-insurance and deductible payments may apply. They'll even provide transportation. With Medicare B or similar insurance, call 1-800-223-1212.
You get the rich taste of chocolate in every little lick when you get to the bottom of a new drumstick. You taste ice cream and peanuts with a really different kick when you get to the bottom of a new drumstick.
We line a sugar cone with chocolate.
Please, please. Observe this occasion with the reverence it merits.
Out of my way so I can get a better look.
$600.
$650. $675. $700.
$750.
$775. $800. Wow, now, you little son of a weasel. Now, you know I got my heart set on winning her.
Yeah, well, you put your money where your heart is.
$850.
$900. $950.
$975.
$1,000. Oh. No woman's worth $1,000. Hey, now listen, we join forces, we can beat the competition over here and share the prize.
No, I'm not sharing that natural wonder with nobody, Lem. No, I bid $1,025.
$1,100.
Oh.
$1,150.
$1,200.
$1,250.
$1,300.
Oh. $1,350.
$1,400.
$1,425.
$1,450.
Oh, damnation or Lem.
I ain't sharing nothing with you now.
Gentlemen, has the bidding ceased?
I guess that means the lady's mine.
$1,500.
Do I hear $1,550?
If you'll give me credit, sir.
Well, I am sorry, my good friend, but my trade is strictly cash and carry. $1,500 once. $1,500 twice. Gone to the gentleman from the Caribbean for the sum of $1,500.
You think that Asa and Renee are gonna run off like a pair of high school kids?
Well, he's been acting sneaky all week.
Well, but you guys have been arguing. He probably doesn't want to have a confrontation with you, but he loves his family. He wouldn't marry without his family, especially so soon after Clint's death.
So you're thinking of the man that you knew before Clint died, Wanda.
Well, all right, a lot has happened to him, but He still loves his family very much. Now, what is it that we could do to help him?
I don't know. Stay close to him, keep him from doing something stupid or impulsive, I guess.
Well, maybe they just went off on a little pleasure trip to New York or Nevada.
Look, his plane is still at the airport. All of his cars are right here in town. Renee's car is still at the Holden Towers. Plus, I overheard him talking about a justice of the peace.
Ah, well, maybe you should call all of the justices of the peace in the area, just in case.
You know, you were an incredible defensive coordinator.
Well, Cousin Asa is an incredible five-star general, especially when it comes to the offense. And if he has decided to do something, to get married in secret, there's not a darn thing that we could do about it.
Well, nobody ever won a battle by giving up.
All right, you man the phones, and I'll bring these into the fridge.
John, you got any guess as to why Herb didn't cross-examine Mary Lynn?
Probably figured it hurt his case, Tom.
Sweetheart, I think your testimony has turned the tables in your favor. The judge has been so damn smug throughout this trial. This is the first time I've seen her confidence shaken.
Tom, don't go celebrating yet, all right?
No, but I do think it gives us reason to hope.
John, do you think you could call Captain Garrettson and ask how Wade is doing?
Mary Lynn, I'm sure Wade's okay.
How can he be okay? He is locked in a prison cell.
John, do you suppose you could talk the judge into dropping the charges against Wade?
Look, Tom, it's a shot in a million. I'll give it a try.
Good, now might be the time while she's rattled, okay?
Well, don't count on it. This woman's very unpredictable, Tom.
She could have assigned him community duty or something, but to give him 6 months in jail for playing Griffin's tape? It's not fair.
Listen, sweetheart. The judge has sided with the prosecution so much through this thing. I think the only thing she's interested in is seeing Lamar exonerated.
Where have you been? Defense is calling you back to the stand. You know that?
Look, I need your help. Would you please talk to Weber? Ask her if she can dismiss me.
Yeah, sure, right.
I am ordering you to do this.
You're ordering me?
I'm sorry. I'm out of line. Look, I'm not feeling well. I can't seem to concentrate. I just don't want to answer any more questions today.
You just relax. Everything's going fine. You've got nothing to worry about. Just answer truthfully, and you'll tie John Russell up in knots.
Herb, I want to go home and get some rest. I need to lie down.
He's challenging Judge Weber's rulings. You disappear and we'll wipe out all the gains we've made with the jury. It's much too much of a risk. You've got to get John Russell off your back as soon as possible.
Excuse me, Mr. Callison. The judge is about to resume the session.
Thanks, Bill. Donald?
My God, no. No, it can't be. Alex? Alex Crown?
Sir, I'm Asa Buchanan. This is my bride-to-be, Renee Devine.
I'm honored you've chosen me to perform your marriage ceremony.
This is a charming place.
Yeah, having it empty makes it more charming.
Will your friends and family be here shortly?
We'd like a private ceremony, Justice Mason, just the two of us. Oh, 3 counting you, of course.
Yes, but the law requires 2 witnesses, Mr. Buchanan. Mrs. Mason and I would be happy to act as your witnesses.
Oh, can you do that? Oh, that'd be wonderful. We'd be most grateful.
I'll ask my wife to come.
Right. Now, we have our rings?
Yes. Do you have the hotel reservations?
Justice Mason here.
Yes, I was wondering if you were planning a wedding ceremony for a Mr. Asa Buchanan and a Renee Devine today.
Who's this calling, please?
Well, you see, Asa Buchanan is my father. I was supposed to stand up for him, and I've lost the address. I've already called about a half a dozen different justices of the peace, and I wondered if you were marrying them.
Asa Buchanan is your father?
Yes, sir. My name is Bo Buchanan.
I'm sorry. There's no Buchanan on my schedule.
Thank you for covering.
Part of the job. I'll go out and call Miss Mason.
I knew that son of mine was up to no good.
I think Mr. Mason deserves a bonus.
He deserves a lot more than that. With him, we pulled it off. We fooled everybody, including that no-account son of mine. And I'm going to tell you something in a couple of minutes. We're going to be Mr. and Mrs. Asa Buchanan and heading for a honeymoon trip around the world. Oh,
Mr. Hatchworth, that will be $1,500 for your virtuous but volcanic virgin. Of course, you understand that once you take possession of her, I am absolved of all future responsibility. If she runs away, I cannot return your money. Of course, if you have difficulty in taming her spirit in the future, I certainly may be available to locate another buyer for a sum.
I'll tame her, Phineas. I'll tame her.
According to my calculations, that is merely $1,400.
No, you're exactly right. I've got more money in my saddlebags. It's taken me a while to get it. I'll take her along with me for safety.
We made a bargain, Mr. Hatchworth. I trusted you to be a man of honor.
It's in my saddlebags, Phineas. It'll just take me a couple seconds to go get it. I'll be right back. I'll leave her with you for safekeeping.
Cash on the line, pay up or depart.
My horse is right outside the bar.
$14.50, Mr. Smart. Cash on the line.
I won that bidding fair and square.
Yes, but you were short $100. She is yours, Zeke. Take her away.
Mr. Lamar, how do you feel about Griffin Clark's death?
I feel that he has nothing to do with this case.
Really? He was prepared to testify against you.
Well, if he was, it was because he wanted revenge against me. As I told you, I fired him.
And why did he keep on calling you?
I don't know what you're talking about.
The night Lee Sanders was killed, he placed a phone call to you.
He never called me.
Really? The police just uncovered evidence stating otherwise.
If you have evidence, produce it. Otherwise, refrain from this line of questioning.
The police are on the way over with the evidence, Your Honor. They should be here shortly.
Mr. Callison, were you informed of this new evidence?
No, Your Honor, but I accept defense counsel's word that such evidence exists.
Very well. Defense is warned. Do not badger the witness.
Mr. Lamar, you knew for a fact that Tom Dennison had discovered your mob ties.
That's a lie. I have no ties to the mob. As a matter of fact, I have a fine record of upstanding convictions against mob figures.
Mob figures that you chose to dispose of for your own personal reasons.
They were convicted for the well-being and safety of the community.
Well, the night Lee Sanders was killed, you were only worried about your own safety and well-being. That's why you ordered your chauffeur to kill Tom Dennison. Yeah, Griffin Clark called you that night to get the final go-ahead.
Listen, I understand that you want to preserve the innocence of your client. But this line of questioning is ridiculous. As a matter of fact, I've never seen anything so ridiculous in my life.
Your Honor, I stand corrected. My assumption was ridiculous. Griffin called you that night to tell you that he couldn't go through with the plan. That killing Tom Dennison would not be as easy as killing Alex Crown.
These are lies. They're all lies. I don't even know Alex Crown. You've got to do something about this.
Mr. Lamar,
I'm not on trial here.
Please control yourself. Until you can produce evidence that indeed a phone call from Griffin Clark and Mr. Lamar did take place on the night in question, I refuse to allow you to put any more questions to this witness.
Your Honor, prosecution hasn't objected to my questioning.
Well, I do. One more remark about Tom Dennison or Griffin Clark or Alex Crown, and I will hold you in contempt, sir. That's my final warning. Unhand me, you brute!
I'm going to teach you to speak sweeter to me. You are my property now. You remember that.
If Mr. Hatchworth will accept this $100 and add it to his $1,400, then I will be his property.
My pleasure, ma'am.
Phineas, you sold her to me.
Yes, that was because Mr. Hatchworth was short of funds.
She cannot pay for her own sale. I've never heard of anything like that.
Yes, well, I'll admit it is highly irregular. However, if the gentleman can make good on his bid, The lady is his.
My bid beats yours, Zeke. Better luck next time.
Congratulations, my friend. It appears you have not only won the maiden's body, but her heart as well.
Hold it! Right there.
What's the meaning of this? Put down that gun and allow this gentleman and his bride to depart.
You ought to be a little bit more careful who you make sales to, Mr. Smart. You let this lizard walk out that door alive, he'll go straight to the Federales, and we'll all end up in jail. I plan to see that don't happen.
Thank you so much for joining us. And I have an instant camera if you'd like a picture for your scrapbook. Oh, that'd be lovely.
Wait a minute. Can we do the ceremony first, and then we'll take some pictures?
Dear, you stand next to Miss Devine.
Yeah.
Mr. Buchanan, you have a ring?
Yes, and I have one for myself.
All right, is everyone ready?
Yes.
Before us come two, to be joined together. Do you, Asa, take Renee to be your lawful wife, to live in a state of matrimony, to love, honor, and keep with, as you both shall live?
I will.
And do you, Renee, take Asa to be your lawful husband, to live with in a state of matrimony, to love, honor, and to live with, as you both shall live?
I will.
What token do you offer, true to your vow?
Why the big rush to get married, Asa? Little lady in a family way?
Stella, what are you doing here?
I must ask you to leave immediately. This is a private ceremony.
Doesn't the family approve of the ex-madam?
You get the hell out of here!
Have you talked him into making out a new will yet, Renee? And how about your business? You plan on making Asa a partner?
No!
Okay, that's it. That's enough. I'll call the police.
Get your filthy, rotten face out of my life! You're here!
You better save all your energy, Asa. From what I hear, you'll need all you can manage on your honeymoon.
Oh, my God.
Alex?
Alex Crown?
God, no. It can't be, no. He's dead.
Told the court you didn't know Alex Crown.
He's dead. No, you keep him away from me.
Are you admitting you killed Alex?
No! Griffin killed him. I had nothing to do with this.
Tell us the truth, Donald. Tell us about Alex Crown.
You go back to your grave. You go back to your grave!
Is Vicky back yet?
No, I told you 20 times, Tina. She's not due back till tonight.
Well, you didn't have to yell at me.
I'm sorry, okay?
No, it's not okay. I was in a great mood because of all the wonderful things. And then you just ruined everything. What are you doing here anyway?
I'm looking for Asa.
Oh, you and the boys and I'm going to go play hide and seek?
You know, I know it's been a long time, Tina, but don't you remember what we talked about this morning?
What?
Today's Asa's wedding day.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Well, I'm happy to see you're so concerned.
Look, Ace has never exactly been my best friend, you know?
Aren't you concerned at all about this family, Tina? If he marries Renee, we're all doomed.
Well, I don't think she's really that bad. In fact, I kind of like her.
Ah.
All right, okay, I'll help you look for them.
I've called about every justice of the peace in this whole area. Not one of them will admit that he's performing the ceremony.
Well, maybe because they aren't. Maybe they went out of state or they went to Mexico or something.
It's just fine. You know, I let him out of my sight for 20 minutes. He disappears. Probably already on his honeymoon by now.
Well, so then what can we do about it?
Isn't anyone going to welcome me home?
Vicky!
Vicky.
Hello, sweetheart.
Hi, we weren't expecting you till tomorrow. Welcome back.
Thank you.
I'll second that. Welcome home.
That's better. Oh, that's much, much better.
Let's go. Hold it! Right there.
Deal. What is the meaning of this? Put that firearm away and allow this gentleman and his bride to depart.
You ought to be a little more careful who you make sales to, Mr. Smart. You let this lizard walk out of here alive, you'll go straight to the Federales. And we'll all wind up in jail. Now, I plan to see that don't happen.
Mr. Hatchworth has no intention of harming us. He has just purchased this marvelous creature and is anxious to return with her to his island in the Caribbean.
This here is Clint Buchanan, not Mr. Hatchworth.
Buchanan?
That's right. Now, I suggest we take him to the nearest river and drop him to the bottom with a boulder for a necklace.
Alex?
Alex Crown?
God, no. It can't be, no. He's dead.
Told the court you didn't know Alex Crown.
He's dead. No, you keep him away from me.
Are you admitting you killed Alex?
No! Griffin killed him. I had nothing to do with this.
Tell us the truth, Donald. Tell us about Alex Crown.
You go back to your grave. You go back to your grave!
I won't let you rest until you've told the truth, Donald.
I'm not on trial here. Mary Lynn killed her mother. I loved Lee. I tried to protect her.
The way you protected me?
I offered you a whole new life.
I found a new life in Europe. I was happy there. Then I discovered your connection to my former associates in the underworld. You found out where I was hiding, told my enemies, and expected them to kill me. When they failed, you personally arranged my death. Admit it, Donald. Confess.
You stay away from me.
I want to hear your confession.
Let her go! You stay away! Donald comes close to me and she's dead.
Give me the gun.
You stay away from me. I'm giving the orders now, Herb.
Now listen, Lamar. You've already hurt enough people. You don't want to hurt Mary Lynn.
I need time to think.
She's your friend.
Back off. I need time to think. I don't want to have to pull this trigger.
They're trying to help you, Donald.
Help me? How can they help me? They all hate me.
You trust me? You know you can trust me.
You miserable incompetent. You betrayed me.
You betrayed yourself, Donald.
You promised me a short trial. You guaranteed me a conviction.
Stop it. You've said enough.
I swore. I warned you if anything went wrong, you'd be paid back. All right. Now, if you don't want her killed, everyone back away. You, get up here. Come on.
No!
Come
No, Maurice, no!
Move.
Go ahead! Go ahead! Kill me like you killed my mother!
You killed her.
No, you used her body to protect yourself. You never cared about her or anybody else.
You're wrong, Mary Lynn. I loved her.
You hated her because she didn't love you.
Oh, she always loved me. She tried to convince herself that she could live with Tom, but she couldn't, and she admitted it.
You're lying.
No, Mary Lynn, it's the truth. It is. The night that your mother died, we were about to make love, and then Griffin called. And like a fool, I answered it. And when I walked back into the bedroom, I could see the hate in her eyes. And I knew at that moment I'd lost her forever.
So you had to kill her?
I had no choice. I had to protect myself. I had to protect myself. I knew our love was gone, so I had to let her die. Now, then you stay back.
You're doomed, Donald. Your only escape is through me.
Mister, you got me all wrong. I don't take lightly to parting with $1,400. And if I was to turn Mr. Smart here over to the federales, I'd not only lose my $1,400, I'd lose my little bride-to-be here along with it.
As teacher lady's your friend. You don't need to buy her.
Phineas, this fella is either plumb loco or he's been sucking on too many bottles of tequila.
I am beginning to understand why the schoolteacher parted with 100 of her own dollars in order to ensure that you would purchase her.
I merely thought that he was possibly the most God-fearing of this dreadful lot.
Look, if you would like to escort me and the lady to the outskirts of town to ensure your own safety, I have no objection.
Deal's words ring truer than yours. However, if I am mistaken, I apologize and shall pray for your soul.
You ain't mistaken, Phineas.
Shall we gather at the river?
Now look, buying women is one thing, but murder, that's where I draw the line.
It's either kill him or we'll all end up in a stinking Mexican jail.
You've got only your word against his for that.
Well, you ain't got to take my word for it. I got proof right outside. Oh, Mendez!
You worthless son of a pig!
It appears you shared deals. Opinion of this gentleman.
This man plied me with whiskey to gain knowledge of this auction. Then he lured me into a dark alley, assaulted me, and stole my clothes and all my money.
That seems to me this spinster lady belongs to Mendez, since it was his $1,400 that bought her.
Yeah.
You satisfied, Zeke?
Huh? Robbing is no cause for killing. Or swindling, neither.
You would be tying the noose yourself if it was your clothes and your money, Gordo.
The fairest solution is a vote. Gentlemen, shall we release the imposter and find ourselves without our own freedom?
No! Let him go!
It appears you have been outvoted, Zeke. The majority rules. The verdict has been rendered.
What manner of a heathen are you? You buy and you sell women and you take a man's life for nothing more than a thirst for vengeance? Have you no respect for human life other than your own? Have you no compassion? Have you no conscience? I refuse to believe that you would take a man's life as easily as you would take a fish from the sea.
At first blush, you seemed a rare catch. But I now realize why you have retained your virtue for so long. No, deal. We have enough trouble without shooting him here in town.
I agree. Be a lot more fun to watch him sink to the bottom of the river.
The maiden right along with him.
Look, what's the harm in letting them ride out of town? We can make sure they don't make any trouble for us later.
Well, we'll just drown you, too.
Governor, what is the meaning of this invasion?
Every man in this room is under arrest for the buying and selling of human lives. Release the captive women.
Please, allow me to clarify this misunderstanding.
Mr. Buchanan has explained everything quite clearly.
Party's over, Phineas.
It appears Deal is a finer judge of character than I.
Well, you should never trust a man in a white suit.
Take this poor excuse for a man out of my sight.
The captain of the police shall vouch for me.
He has been arrested also. There will be no more slave trading in Mexico. Take him away.
Governor, this big man here, his name is Zeke. He tried to help us out. And I think he'd like to change his ways. Could you just kind of go easy on him?
I will take your recommendation into advisement.
Thank you.
Pardon me, madam, for not asking you sooner. Are you all right?
I'm very confused by this sudden turn of events. Very grateful, but very confused.
Well, on my way to the auction, I stopped by the governor's office, and we had a little chat about Mr. Smart's slave trade.
I called out the militia immediately.
And we're much obliged for your quick action, Governor.
If I can be of service to you, Mr. Buchanan, it would be an honor to me.
Sir, the women are terrified. They have no money, no means of returning to their homes.
We'll get them back safely.
Thank you.
Ginny, do you have any idea what happened? Ginny?
Ginny!
Ginny.
Oh,
There, you're all right. You're gonna be all right. I'm here.
good heavens. I have never fainted before in my life.
Well, you've never been through an ordeal like that before in your life. But you're safe now.
Forgive me for being such a burden to you.
You might have been a burden to Phineas Smart. To me, you're just a little gift from heaven.
me something. Has Gilbert come back to us? The gardens look spectacular.
No, I got a hold of Gardner and I told him that I wanted everything ship-shape for your homecoming.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, in fact, everybody pitched in, including me.
Thank you.
And I got a crew out here to take out all the storm windows, go up on the roof, check for winter damages. Anything that Clint would have done during the spring. Sorry.
No, Bo, don't be sorry. It's perfectly all right. I cannot forget Clint. I don't want to. I went to the cabin really to try and pull myself together because I seemed to be so paralyzed with grief. It was as if I couldn't see an end